India is home to some of the world's strangest traditions. In some villages, people marry dogs. There are individuals who consume human flesh, and in some temples, rats are worshipped. Stick with me to learn more. Give this video a like and subscribe with the notification bell to see more videos like this one. Dinga Gavar Festival. The Dinga Gavar Festival is celebrated in Jodhpur, and the name means fun through deception. Gavar is the wife of Shiva, one of the three most important gods in Hinduism. During the festival, statues of deities are placed and offerings are made. People dress up as gods and goddesses, tribal people, and police officers. Unmarried men must roam the streets waiting to be hit by those in costumes, as tradition states that they will get married soon if they are struck. Sacred cows. One of the most well-known peculiarities of India worldwide is their relationship with cows, animals considered sacred in this culture. Cows are revered as motherly figures and as representations of Mother Earth's generosity. The flip side of this tradition is the abandonment faced by these ruminants. Despite their revered status, millions of cows are left to fend for themselves without food or anyone to care for them. This is due to the high costs of their maintenance, which forces people to abandon them when they can no longer produce milk or are too old to serve as a draft animal. Cannibalism. The Aghori cult believes that Shiva is perfect, and everything he has created is perfect as well. For this reason, they have no taboos. In some funerary rituals, they consume the flesh of the dead, collecting corpses from the water that are floating in the river and then eating them raw. Another controversial ritual involving the Aghori requires cult monks to attend cremations of the deceased and smear the ashes from the corpses onto their bodies. Pulikali. Pulikali is a dance performed in Kerala, India, and it is a very unusual ritual that is part of the 12-day Onam festival, which is dedicated to agriculture. Pulikali dances are performed by artists who paint themselves as tigers using yellow, black, white, and red colors. Traditional rhythms are created using instruments such as uduku and takil. The dancers mimic the body language of the felines and enact scenes where tigers are stalked by hunters. Timiti. The Timiti ritual involves walking on burning coals and is performed to demonstrate dedication and commitment to a deity during puja celebrations and reenactments of stories from the Mahabharata. Timiti stipulates that only men can participate in the rite, where they will demonstrate their devotion to the goddess Draupadi Amman, who is credited with the ability to ward off spirits. Some men make wishes while participating in the walk or fulfilling penance. Ayuda Puja. A very interesting custom in India is Ayuda Puja, in which machinery and tools, especially guns, rifles, and swords, are worshipped. Through this, the goddesses Shakti are venerated, three deities called Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom, arts, and literature, Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, and Parvati, the Divine Mother. This day is particularly important for artisans and soldiers, as the custom is focused on demonstrating the significance of their work. At the same time, it aims to activate the divine forces that manifest through the tools so that workers can use them better. Nagpatami, or Snake Festival. Snakes are key animals in Indian mythology, where there is even a long tradition of snake charmers. Therefore, it is not surprising that there is a celebration in which these reptiles are the main focus. On the 5th day of the lunar month of Shravan, Nagpatami is celebrated, a festival where live cobras, which have had their fangs and venom removed, are worshipped. Devotees gather to feed the cobras with milk and mice. Camel Fair. During the month of November, a camel fair is held in Pushkar, a sacred city in India where a stunning spectacle is offered to locals and visitors alike. For 5 full days, around 5,000 camels are dressed in special clothing to parade and participate in beauty contests, races, and are commercially exchanged. To liven up the event, there are street performances by musicians, acrobats, dancers, magicians, and snake charmers who entertain and amaze the crowds with their various tricks. Body piercings and hooks. The Tayum Festival honors Lord Murugan, who is the son of Shiva and Parvati. The celebration has some chilling peculiarities, as devotees pierce their bodies with hooks and spears called vel. On occasion, people attempt to pull heavy vehicles, such as tractors, with hooks attached to their bodies. Other forms of the ritual involve piercing the tongue and cheeks to prevent speech, aiming to achieve a state of complete concentration. During the rites, participants enter a trance, while instruments are played and chants are performed. Animal weddings to appease the rain god. It turns out that in India, weddings are not only held with dogs, but also with other animal species. All these rituals are based on the idea that the rain god must be appeased, as rains cause various problems in the country. Thus, frog weddings in villages like Assam and Maharashtra are not uncommon, while in Karnataka, donkey weddings have been celebrated. In all these festivities, the common denominator is that matrimonial rituals are strictly followed, and these are led by priests. Hair plucking. Jainists and Buddhists associate hair with a symbol of illusion, attachment, and vanity of individuals. Therefore, in some initiation rites, Jainist monks and nuns painfully pluck out all their hair. The resulting wounds are covered with cow dung to help them heal. This act is performed to symbolize their renunciation of worldly attachments. 7 lives together. Some couples living in Allahabad and Maharashtra promise each other to spend their entire lives together, which may not sound unusual. However, the promise doesn't stop there. They also engage in a ritual called Venidan, where they vow to stay united for 7 more lives. Couples dress in traditional attire and reenact all the rites performed in a common Indian wedding. At the end of the ceremony, the wife sits on her husband's lap and he cuts a strand of her braided hair, which is then offered to a river as an offering. Kambola buffalo races. Kambola is a festival celebrated annually in various districts of India, consisting of organizing buffalo races, a kind of sport that is very popular in the country's rural areas. The celebration takes place between November and March in muddy rice fields. The idea is for the riders to control the buffaloes so that they run, competing against each other. Of course, this activity has been the subject of controversy in recent years and has received strong criticism from animal rights activists, who argue that it violates the 1960 law preventing cruelty to animals. Despite this, amendments were made to the law to allow the celebration to continue, with some regulations added. Tantric Festival Ambubachi Mela. The Tantric Festival, called Ambubachi Mela, is organized in June at the Kamakhya Temple in Guwahati. The temple doors are closed for 3 days and opened on the 4th day, as it is believed that this is the time when the goddess Sati is menstruating. According to the belief, every June, Sati goes through her menstrual cycle, making it the most appropriate time for women to pray for fertility and celebrate. All devotees receive a piece of cloth soaked in a fluid, which is said to be Sati's blood. Chow dance. Chow dance has been a part of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity since 2010. It is a theatrical performance interpreting passages from the Mahabharata, a mythological epic, and the Ramayana, another sacred text. Perhaps one of the most interesting aspects of this ritual is that it includes movements associated with combat techniques, imitations of various animals, and gestures referring to household tasks. The dance is performed at night, accompanied by traditional instruments, and is practiced only by men belonging to artistic communities. Predicting the baby's gender. In a village called Kukra, there's a tradition that has lasted for over 4 centuries in which the gender of babies in their mother's womb is predicted. To make this forecast, they based it on how a stone falls when thrown towards a mountain by pregnant women. The mountain in question is in the village, and the ritual consists of the expectant mother throwing a stone from a certain distance. Depending on how it falls, inside or outside a moon-shaped mark drawn on the mountain, the birth of a boy or girl is predicted. The villagers have a lot of faith in this criterion. Batmar Holi. The peculiar Batmar Holi festival takes place in Mathura, in the village of Barsana, as it recreates the famous love story between Radha and Krishna, which results in women hitting men with sticks while men try to protect themselves. Legend has it that Krishna visited the village and teased Radha, then ran away. In retaliation, Radha chased Krishna wielding a stick. The union between them symbolizes the connection between heaven and earth, as Radha was a shepherdess. Jallikattu. One of the most controversial celebrations in India is the Jallikattu ceremony, which involves bulls. Bulls specially bred for this activity are brought onto the streets adorned with gold and silver jewelry. People participate in trying to snatch the jewelry and keep it as a prize. This practice has been portrayed in movies several times and has sparked protest from large animal rights organizations. In 2014, the practice was banned, and in 2016, it was approved again, following certain rules. The ban returned a little later, prompting protests. Kila Raipur Games. In the village of Kila Raipur, a series of unusual sporting events takes place. The competitions are held in February and attract a large attendance from the local population and surrounding areas. Among the contests are horse races, aerial acrobatics, cart races pulled by oxen, and various traditional rural competitions. Tayum Festival. Another important festival in Kerala is the Tayum Festival, which celebrates traditions that have been present in India for almost a millennium. The Tayum are members of a higher Indian caste known for being the heads of their village. People seek out the Tayum to receive blessings, and during the festival, more than 400 types of traditional dances are performed. The celebration occurs between October and May each year. Muharram. Muharram is a day of mourning for Shiite Muslims, as it commemorates the anniversary of the death of Hussein ibn Ali, who suffered martyrdom in Ashura. In commemoration, the faithful inflict wounds on themselves with sharp objects in the month of September. This mournful day takes place on the 10th day of the first month of the Islamic calendar. It is a mass mourning event that recalls the death of Hussein as a symbol of the struggle against tyranny and the injustices of the world. Festival Sakurangi. In Nagaland, a harvest festival called Sakurangi is held, attracting many travelers who come to the region to be part of the festivities. The premise of the celebration is purification, so there are songs, dances, and various performances. Men usually bathe in the village well, and various types of tribal dances can be enjoyed. All festivities take place in the month of February. Namaste. Namaste is a greeting that has recently become popular in different parts of the world, but has a long tradition in India. This custom comes from 5 traditional greetings mentioned in Hindu scriptures. The expression Namaste can be translated as, "I bow to you," and when used as a greeting, it means, "May our minds meet," which is complemented by folded palms in front of the chest. Vrats, fasting. Fasting, or vrats, is a fundamental part of Indian culture and represents a person's sincerity, resolution, and commitment. It is also used to express gratitude to gods and goddesses. Fasting can be observed in various rituals, but also on a daily basis by people who practice it on specific days of the week, either to ask for favors from a particular god or goddess associated with that day, or to cleanse sins and perform penance. Magnetic temples. A large part of the temples in India are located on the Earth's magnetic waves, with the intention of maximizing energy as much as possible. In addition, a copper plate is buried beneath the main figure or idol of the temple to absorb energy and resonate around it. For many people, going to the temple involves filling themselves with positive energy and calming their minds to function in a much healthier way. Therefore, it is essential to remove footwear before entering sacred spaces to avoid contaminating them with dirt from the outside and maintain their pristine essence. Arranged marriages. The entire concept of marriage in India comes from the Vedic times, where ceremonies were organized in royal families, and couples from all over the kingdom were invited to compete in activities aimed at getting married, winning an ideal bride or groom. These pre-arranged marriages served as a precedent for contemporary marriage rites, which often operate through prior arrangements framed within deep-rooted traditions in Indian culture. Indian scriptures and religious symbols. In Indian culture, various symbols related to their sacred scriptures hold great importance and carry different meanings, depending on the interpretations and perspectives with which they are viewed. A clear example of this is the swastika, which in much of the world is associated with a key symbol of Nazism, but is not related to Adolf Hitler's ideology in the context of India. In this case, the swastika is the symbol of Ganesha, a god with a human body and an elephant head. The arms of the swastika are related to the 4 Vedas, as well as 4 constellations and the 4 main objectives of human pursuit. Women's clothing. Saris are the traditional dresses for women in India, consisting of a single piece of fabric that requires no seams, are extremely easy to make, and also conform to religious norms for traditional clothing. These types of dresses are part of Hindu tradition, but their use is now spread to other religions. Unique martial arts. In India, one can find some unique martial arts that date back to ancient traditions. Some of these arts involve the use of weapons, while others do not. In addition, some techniques used in them can serve medicinal purposes to heal certain ailments. In other parts of the world, these disciplines have been adopted for personal defense strategies and as a way to get in shape through exercise. Eating with hands. This custom is not only observed in India, but in the south and east of India it is a widespread practice. Not so much in the north and west of the country. From the perspective of other cultures, it may seem inappropriate to eat this way, though in reality the practice is very hygienic. Among the benefits obtained from this way of eating are that people take great care in the hygiene of their hands and clean them thoroughly before eating, as well as eating more slowly, which aids in digestion. Bengali wedding. In Bengali weddings, there is an exceptional tradition, as neither the groom's mother nor the bride's mother attend the ceremony due to the belief that this would have a harmful effect on the couple. And this is not the only strange tradition regarding weddings in India. Pay attention to the following. Socializing prohibited. This tradition is also related to wedding ceremonies. In this case, it is the Adivasi communities that follow it, and it consists of the bride being prohibited from socializing with anyone after getting married. The woman must remain in a hidden place, not interacting with anyone for a year. After this time, the most important members of the village must approve the union, and only then can it be celebrated with the entire community. Subscribe with the bell, give it a like, and I'll leave you this video of Iceland, one of the strangest countries in the world. See you soon.